Welcome to Girona. We're here for the Sgrail 100, Frodeno's own gravel triathlon. And I've got to say, it's good to be back in Girona.
Yeah, this is my first time here, so I'm really excited to see what Girona is all about. Obviously, Girona attracts so many pro athletes, obviously Jan himself. And talking of which, I understand it's Jan's day off. He's got a little rest day and he's invited us along to hang out. So, we're off to the pump track first.
Yeah, started by Frodeno Fund, apparently. Let's go find out what that's all about. Okay, first stop for the day, the pump track.
Why not try something new? This is a little baby here, trying to have some fun, get into some cycling and yeah, go with the flow.
Alright, I think we're going to need some tips. I
Yeah,
don't know, well, I definitely do.
Definitely, but first tell us a little bit about the track. It's the Frodeno Fund. It's putting your money to good use, helping these kids get into bikes, basically. Is that the idea?
Pretty much onto bikes, off the streets, find a safe environment for these kids to learn all about sport. You know, growing up in South Africa, the example has been set over there, and there's a little, the Songo Foundation is where I kind of had the idea or got the idea from. Get underprivileged kids in this area, which is just bordering on Girona, that has problems you can't even fathom when you live in Girona. And yeah, I've obviously made my way through sport. Sport's been my door to the world, and this is my way of giving back and hoping a few more kids find their way.
Well, it's an awesome facility, and we're going to test it out. You know, I'm a little bit nervous. We're going to take some tips from the master here, though. He's going to teach
It looks
us how
pretty
to do
big.
Yeah.
So the track is 200 meters, just over 200 meters long for one lap. It's a good workout, let me tell you, it's a good workout. It's all about pumping, don't pedal, finding the flow, and yeah, learning body awareness, all these kind of things that that are in mind. But I think let's go give it a crack and see how we go.
Sweet, let's go.
It's definitely not
I'm
GT
gonna buckle
bike,
this
that's
up.
for sure.
Quads are starting to burn a little bit there.
Not bad, huh?
Like that.
That's sweet.
Very cool.
Yeah. And that's the thing, you can do it for time. You can do tricks. You can just roll around, freestyle, you do whatever you want.
It's much better than sweet spot intervals.
All right, time for a coffee. Hey, who's this guy?
Hello gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to the abode of Frodeno.
Yeah, La Comuna, we like it. Are you the barista?
I am the barista for your day. Unfortunately, all the people who really know how to do it have gone home already, so you're stuck with me. What can I get you?
I hear you got some skills. Flat white, can we do flat white?
Flat white?
I feel like we need a lesson from the master here. Can I come around that side and
Totally.
see how
Knock
the
yourself
magic
out
happens?
because
Sweet.
I think we can nail the basics quite easily.
Oh, here we go.
Alrighty, let's weigh this puppy first. So what you want is about 20 grams of espresso. You put it in here and you basically activate the button.
So this is your Frodeno beans?
These are Frodeno beans, a Nicaraguan bean, fermented, and it's got a nice sweet profile. Works well with milk, works well without.
So
And,
you don't go for the Lionel Sanders tamp, add more, tamp again.
No, you see, Sam Appleton actually gave me some flack on his blog for using my fingers to spread the grinds. It's a very personal issue, as you can see. It's very particular, but the tamp grind Lionel Sanders technique is like many of the technical elements from Lionel, not particularly one that I want to copy. Sorry, Lionel, you know I love you. And how about I prepare you a jug of milk.
I will froth the milk, and then you can see how your pouring goes and see if we end up with latte art or just a
blob.
Bad impression of a latte penis.
I'm voting for the second, yeah. But I'll give it a go.
All right, what you want to do is first pour in the milk from the top so that the milk foam goes under the crema and gives you a base. And then later, you touch the jug and bring it closer and basically with the momentum, push out the foam and try to create a swan if you're fancy or a heart. Let's go with a heart. Higher, higher, higher from the top. So it's not touching. The touching bit comes afterwards.
Sorry.
Now circle it a bit. There we go. All right, stop. Now try and find a bit of crema and push the foam into your coffee. Give it some. A little bit more. There we go.
There we go.
There we go. Oh.
I think my...
Oh, come on, that's not bad.
Nice. Yeah, it's like a mushroom. They've been very generous when he said that's not bad.
Wow, you know, for a while, put it this way, for how you started, it's come out very well.
Well, our latte art needs work and we need some more lessons from the master. Clearly, we need more days off, basically, in Girona, which I'm sure Mark and I can arrange. This man, though, might be a bit too busy to be standing around teaching us latte art too often. But we're having a good day anyway. Now we can sit and drink our coffee and actually talk to the man about everything, basically. So let's start with the Sgrail 100. Recently happened. We enjoyed it. You enjoyed it?
I loved it.
Everything you hoped it would be?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, when you put something like that out there, you always see little kinks and things you want to iron out. Yeah. But I think for a first time, you know, what really impressed me is that people got the spirit of it. And that was really nice, you know.
He's talking about our Hawaiian shirts.
Exactly, like the fact we spent the whole day together in the bunch, you know, and back and forth, and a bit of banter, and a bit of, you know, just enjoying kind of vibe. Like, it's such a beautiful sport, and it kind of is, I think you even said it, like it's just a good way to spend a day, to do a triathlon, and without necessarily killing yourself, which of course you can always do. There's no doubt about it. But I really did enjoy it. I'm really happy, and it's nice because when you put your heart and soul into something, you feel a little bit vulnerable. Like if somebody comes back and they're like, "Yeah, it was okay." It's like the worst, and we didn't get any okays, so that's really good.
We thought it was a great way to do a triathlon without the, you know, triathletes are somewhat guilty of taking triathlon a bit too seriously a lot of the time, and it was a great way to actually do a triathlon and have fun. We really enjoyed it. You know, now that it's happened once, are we looking at maybe making it a regular end of season adventure for us here? Because we're up for next year already. Sign us up. Where do we sign up?
The cool thing is we got a few emails already from people wanting to sign up for 2022, and I think by 2022 we'll have our things organized a little bit better. You know, people forget that we're of course not race organizers. We just have ideas and you know, try and stick it together, but it's definitely going to happen again. And looking forward to just really enjoying a different vibe and seeing that part of the sport maybe grow.
Speaking about the future of Jan Frodeno, would you have retired if 2020 Kona had happened and you had won it, or 2021 Kona had happened for that matter and you had won it? Would that have put a full stop on the career and you would be looking at other things now, or would you still be smashing people like you are?
Jeez, well, a serious question, but I guess I did commit in 2019 to, I somewhere said 3 more, which was of course, you know, erring on the side of the 6 titles those 2 boys got in front of me. 2 of these years have gone by, so I think, for all of us. So it also puts some perspective on life and realizing there are some perhaps slightly more crucial issues than triathlon. As beautiful as it is, as much as we love the sport, it has really been an eye-opener and something to stop the hamster wheel that we all get ourselves caught up into sometimes. But I definitely have the dream. I do call it a dream to race Kona once more as a pro in top shape, competitive. And I'm really dreaming about it happening again next year. Got to just be careful, this year, if anything. I mean, recently, California has shown me it happens in all sorts of ways. Corona has sort of prepared us, I guess, for taking things on the fly and being a little bit more spontaneous and getting out there. But I really do have that ambition to have one more Kona in a really, really good shape. And then perhaps another year of seeing races around the world,
Will you hit the St. George?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, Kona, you keep saying Kona, one more Kona, but there's a certain St. George coming up before Kona. Does that excite you as much as Kona, or are you one of these guys who's like, it's not Kona if it's not in Kona?
Well, it's not Kona, is it? Who doesn't love Bob Babbitt? But I read his article in Triathlon Magazine or Triathlete or one of these magazines about the Kona and why it's so nice to have Kona. I commend Ironman for having made a decision, for creating a world championship with time out for everybody to get ready, get their head wrapped around it. It's what I asked for ages ago, and it's happened. It's a tough course, and I do look forward to the challenge. It's not Hawaii. Of course, it's not Hawaii. I've been around. I'm old school, and we all kind of know they're the two camps. It's either the Olympics or it's Kona. You can't move. You can't move Wimbledon to Yorkshire. It's not the same, and especially not in 1 year. I'm not saying that we can't have a revolving system in the future, and that I wouldn't support it. But for me as an athlete, what I burn for and what my heart burns for and what I am happy to spend time away from my family for would possibly only be Kona. Am I looking forward to a kick-ass race? Am I going to be there? Absolutely. Am I going to try and whip up some really good shape to be there? But what gets me tingling, what gets me excited, what gets me fired up, it is Kona. And therefore I will be at both and try and do my very best. But again, my career end hope, dream, wish and goal would be another Kona.
Awesome. And you may not be able to answer this, but between the Olympics and Kona, just because you've mentioned it now, which is the best? Which excites you the most?
Well, the thing is, of course, you go through various stages, and by now, as much as I remember Les McDonald, who's passed away now, in 2003 saying, are you the young gun? Are you the new guy on the scene? It feels like yesterday in Mazatlan, Mexico, at a World Cup, And now, geez, I am all of a sudden one of the old guys, on the tour, or actually the old guy. There's not too many people of my generation around anymore, and you get new guys coming every 4 years. And back in the day, when I was that young gun, the Olympics was what it was all about. But I can definitely, hindsight being a beauty, say that the Olympics was a one and done for me. It took me 4 years to realize that, but it was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful process to get ready for it and dial it all in. But I didn't realize that I didn't love it thereafter anymore. Like, that objective was done, but it was purely a goal kind of orientated objective. Whereas these days, I'm more interested in getting better at getting better. That's what I love. That's what drives me these days. And these days, that to me is connected to Kona, because Kona is such a tricky one to figure out, and so much more. It is more about your own performance. You're not as much focused on what the other guys are doing, but actually getting yourself dialed in. And those two go very well hand in hand. And that's why nowadays I choose Kona. I would never want to try for an Olympic relay spot or just to try and take part again for the sake of taking part. I mean, a lot of guys have done that too. If you look at Macca, for instance, at the end of his career, he tried to qualify for the Olympics, and I totally get it. But for me, that chapter is closed, and it's a nice thing to have closure as well. So it's changed throughout the years, but 2019 is my favorite race, to answer your next question.
I think it's fair to say we all know you're like a very meticulous guy. So your prep for training, racing, everything is thought about. You go to the nth degree. I mean, in terms of data, are you analysing everything? Do you analyse everything and anything you can?
And that is a piece of prejudice about me that is as stone written as anything, and I don't mean that in a bad way at all, but everybody thinks I'm this meticulous guy and I'm super structured and super planned. You've seen me, I don't think I've ever been on time for any of our sessions ever or anything. I know you don't take shit, so I try to be a little bit more on time than most.
I always thought it was the other way around. I thought, I better be on time because I'm not going to take any shit.
There you go, so much for prejudice, you know, it kind of works each other out. But I would say probably the reason why I feel at home here too is because I have quite a Mediterranean spirit. I'm quite about going with the flow, working things out on the cuff, which I think is a good quality to have for Ironman. Yeah. And if I look at my competitors and how they work and how they tick, I'm definitely, I work very differently in terms of being precise. But I do surround myself with people who analyze the data that I produce. And I do like to listen to them, and I do trust them enough to actually realize that that's a very important stepping stone, and I need their structure almost to make my life work. And I feel that's the strong combination that I have in terms of, you know, most areas. I take a great interest in learning from people who are smarter than me, who know their stuff, because somewhere along the line of being at the Olympics and thinking I've got everything undercover and I'm the man at everything, I somehow came to realize I'm actually only good at very few things. And that's why I seem to have a good hand at finding people who are good at the other things that I know I'm not good at, and admitting that I'm not good at it, and getting out there to the best of my ability.
That's really cool to hear. And I mean, I've also, you've done the Tri Battle earlier this year, Sgrail now, I mean, event domination, you've done Rise on the clothing brand, Frodeno coffee, what's next?
Yeah, it's, I honestly, I can't tell you too much of what's next because I enjoy the business side of being an athlete and the various brands I work with, you know, that I'm also a part of, and that again, I can learn on a business side of things. Quite honestly, I love being a dad. Like, the two things that make me truly happy is being on the limit as an athlete. That very fine point where you know you're flying low, but the walls are coming everywhere and you better steer fine clear of those walls. Or when I'm hanging out with my kids. They're the two moments where I'm like, bliss, pure bliss. And then there's the athlete side. So in terms of what's coming next, what's happening, I can't tell you, but I feel like the sport provides so many opportunities. There's so many cool people you meet. And straight away you have an eye-level conversation with anybody that's got an open ear, that's got a good idea, that's, you know, happy to put something together. Just combines a great deal of passion across the board. And, you know, you never know what can come up from that.
Kids can have you on the limit too, though, just like racing. I'll tell you from experience. They very much can keep you on the limit. So we're sitting here on an off day for Jan, a day off for Jan, and an off-season looming, if there is such a thing as an off-season with this whole COVID weird season schedule that we have with World Champs coming up in May. What does off-season look like? What does Jan Frodeno do for fun, to unwind, other than hanging out with your kids, as you've just said?
Well, to be honest, I still subscribe to the idea that the correct number of bikes is X+1.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to testing out the fleet in my garage. You know, that's hanging next to time trial and road bike. That's very much going to be on my radar. I've discovered ski mountaineering.
Oh yeah.
Hugely awesome sport for those of us that haven't tried it. Just leave the lifts behind and run up. I tell you what, that descent is so much more rewarding. Get to some pretty quiet and pretty spectacular places. I've really come to enjoy that. Probably read a few books.
For the future. Yeah, I'll be up for that.
Yeah.
Jan can take us
ski mountaineering.
Yep, no, then we can definitely all have a laugh because my ski mountaineering is about as good as your latte art.
Well,
but
oh, ouch.
oh, you know, it's kind of
Room for improvement. Oh, yeah,
we can learn.
Take criticism.
And other than that, yeah, probably have some time to read a few books. Looking forward to, maybe doing a few more barista sessions and hanging around a little bit. Our projects in Girona, you know, we've got a little growing family hotel. We've got a beautiful pump track with some amazing stories of some kids that really are something that motivates me truly and deeply. And just looking forward to spending a bit of time there and seeing how it's all growing, because in truth it's grown without me. My idea has gone, the plant has bloomed without me, and I'm looking forward to seeing it firsthand.
It certainly doesn't look like Jan Frodeno is going to have any moss on him anytime soon. He's constantly moving, even in his off season, even potentially in the future in retirement. He's going to have so many things going on. We look forward to following them all and spending more time with you here in Girona. Hopefully we'll be back for another Sgrail or one of the other events that come up. Who knows what his next idea is going to be. Thanks so much for having us, and thanks for the coffee and the lesson. We'll definitely work with a latte art before the next visit too, so we don't get so lambasted by Jan for poor performance.
The good thing is I didn't actually show mine. You know, I'm just sitting here, I'm just criticizing you, but I didn't actually show you if I'm actually any good.
He's drinking water and then criticizing us. We didn't see how well he does it. Yeah, no, I think he probably does it a lot better than we do, like most other things. So thanks so much for having us. Thanks so much for being here and talking to us. It's been great. Thanks
for coming around, boys, and thanks for giving us the faith of coming around for the first time event.
Well, that sadly is the end of our trip to Girona.
Yeah, but what a great trip. I mean, spending a day with Jan and his Sgrail 100. How awesome was that? And I think a certain someone has fallen in love with Girona.
It's not bad. It's really, really nice. I think I'm going to be back very soon.
Yeah, we're going to have to make some excuses for GTN to come and film some more videos. Yeah, I think pretty soon.
Hopefully Jan will pop me up next time.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah.
I know, but thanks ever so much to Jan. Really cool just to hang out with him for a day on his easy day and just get to know him better. Yeah. I know you knew him very well before, but for myself, for the viewers, really cool to see him out of race mode as well.
Yeah, it was really cool. And he gave us some coffee making lessons too. We're going to have to practice that though, aren't we?
Yeah, we really do.
Really.
Well guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's video as much as we have enjoyed filming it and hanging out with Jan. If so, please do give it a thumbs up, give it a like, and don't forget, subscribe down below.